Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, it's time to talk about the last 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. So like the last few review or chat videos I've been doing, I'm gonna split this video up into 2 little parts. So don't worry if you haven't seen episode 22 yet, I won't be talking about that until like midway through the video and I'll give you a warning. So for now, if you've only seen episode 21, this is spoiler free. As long as you've seen episode 21. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys that the more extended version of all of my Walking Dead reactions go up over on Patreon. They're about half an hour. There's a whole bunch of other stuff over there. There's old shows and new shows. I just finished House of the Dragon, which was batshit. Still working my way through X-Files, the original Star Trek, which seems endless. Once Upon a Time, Buffy, Gotham, all that stuff. And I also recently started up reactions to the Winchesters. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going up over there. The link's down below along with the link to my Twitter, my Instagram, or anywhere that you could want to say hello and whatever. Also, yeah, I've started trying to take down the visible Halloween decorations and I've just realised I didn't do a very good job, did I? No. I just got around to this really. The bats are up, the cobwebs are... Listen, I tried and therefore you can't judge me. Halloween's my favourite time of year anyway, so I'm trying to hold on to that last spooky buzz before I have to let go. Right, episode 21. I liked this one. Fantastic review. There you go. End of the video. I liked it. No, I thought the intro was fucking banging, where you have them all inside the van. If that moment where your man driving the van gets his bloody head blown right off, listen, I've said it and a lot of people have been saying it as well, the gore so far the last few episodes, they've really upped it. They've made everything redder and wetter and squishier. I love it. I'm not that big of a fan of gore. Like, I don't think... I don't know. I think, like, if it's done right, it's... fantastically put. If it's done right, then it really, like, enhances the scene, enhances the moment or whatever. And we've been getting a lot of moments like that in the last few episodes. Like that, the guy behind the wheel of the car with his brain all over the place. We've seen a few more walkers as well be particularly wet and squishy. Gabe and Rosita is something I want to... Listen, I want to talk about them quickly. I read, I think it was on Twitter, that it was confirmed that they broke up off screen and it's just never really been addressed. Like, what the fuck? I know there's been a bit of tension between them. Things haven't really been the same between them the last few episodes that we've had them in. We have had a lot of that off-screen moments. Particularly this episode, we didn't really see how everybody got captured. We got brief flashbacks to see it. We got like brief moments, like we saw it with Maggie when she was taken. We saw Herschel being like ripped away from her through a very brief flashback. I do think that works because sometimes you don't need to have everything take big chunks of time in an episode to explain. You know what I'm saying? All these people are on buses. We know they were captured, so like brief little moments of showing, look, this is how it happened. I think that works. But with something like with Gabe and Rosita, that really should have been explained on screen. We should have seen it play out on screen because we saw them kind of... We've seen a lot of their relationship play out, but having them break up and just not really address it, I think was a weird take. Carl and Carol this episode, kick-ass. Kick-ass. Seeing them off together, seeing them driving around in the little van together. I love the moment where Daryl registered that they had Connie. All planning that they had done was just out the window. Listen, I shipped them. I'm pretty open about that. I feel like shipping is such a sensitive topic in this show because you're always going to get someone mad. If you go, oh, I like these two together, or the possibility of these two getting together, there'll be people that disagree and then there'll be people that really disagree, you know. And I know Daryl is a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. A lot of people ship him with Carl, a lot of people ship him with Connie. Yeah, I don't know, and I feel like there was a few moments this episode that kind of toyed with both sides of the shipping. Like the moment where Carol was talking to him, she was talking to Daryl when he was in the car, and she does she hold her hand? Does she place her hand on his leg? I like the two of them as a duo. There was a time where I would have been like, yeah, I could see them getting together. But then, in my opinion, it's just been so fucking long. It's the longest of all long, slow burns that I'm like, yeah, I don't see it happening anymore. But I do love seeing them together. Anytime they're together, you're going to have a moment. You're going to have an impactful scene. So I thought that little brief moment where she was talking to Daryl, trying to calm him down at the car, was lovely. Similarly, the moment she had with Maggie as well, where Maggie was kind of saying she didn't feel like she did enough or she was enough. And then Carol had that little talk with her. Fucking beautiful. It was interesting to see Gabriel get back. I say get back to his priest roots, but he never really left them. But we saw it with that, the guy, the only word that's coming to mind is stormtrooper, and I use that word all the time because I keep forgetting the name of the goddamn army. But when he asked Gabe to stay and pray with him, the fact that Gabriel did that, I was like, okay. I mean, there's other things that should be taking priority right now, but he took the time to sit and pray with him, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a nice little character moment to throw in for Gabriel. I think the takeover of the train was fucking genius. Daryl's speeding down the fucking road to catch up with your man and then just killing him in the forest. Like, oof. I understand why we had to do it, because he would have gotten back and given up our location to everybody. It's still a little bit shocking that he just killed him. But seeing that moment that he had with Connie where she said, I'm not going anywhere, it was just, I love them. I love the two of them so much together. Ezekiel killed it this episode. Seeing him talk to Negan where he said, like, I haven't forgotten what you've done. I'm not your fucking friend just because we're in this situation or whatever. It's another example of, like, sometimes you just have to do what you got to do in order to get out of the situation that you're in. Like, Ezekiel is, I think he's the first character in a very, very long time to talk to Negan that way, to be like, yeah, I don't fucking like you. I remember what you did. Because Negan, we know he's been on this huge progression arc. He's been doing all kinds of fucking things. Like, he's married now and he's got a kid on the way. That's a whole other story. But to see somebody bring that shit up again and be like, I haven't fucking forgotten. I think it was nice to hear, because you don't really hear that on screen anymore. I mean, you hear a lot of the fans and a lot of the viewers echoing those sentiments, but you don't see it on screen. But yeah, seeing, staying on topic with Negan, seeing him have that moment with Ezekiel where he was saying, like, he was kind of like, I was one of those guys, I have experience in that, but these people need hope. Negan recognizing that even though I'm kind of an expert in this field, it's not what they need right now. They need someone like you. They need somebody hopeful, somebody who can give them that little extra push. Him and his woman as well, him and Anne, it's just, I don't have a good feeling about this at all. It's destined to fail. I don't know, there's just something about, like, it all happened off screen, right? He met her, they got married and pregnant off screen. It's weird because, and I'll talk a bit more about it in the next part of the video where I talk about episode 22, but it does feel like there's a lot of mirroring of Maggie and Glenn in their relationship, in Negan and Anne's relationship. But it's kind of weird because they just got together off screen. He came back and was like, whoop, I'm married and we have a baby on the way. And we know he has a spin-off with Maggie. So I don't have a good feeling about Anne. Now, she could hop over to that spin-off too. We don't know if she's going to be in it or not. But we know he doesn't die. And I feel like there has to be tragedy lurking because it's The Walking Dead. There usually is. And a lot of people have been saying that too. And I 1000% agree. Announcing the spin-offs, I guess it was a way to appease the fans or keep things chill while announcing the end of the show, because no one really saw the end of it coming. So I guess announcing spin-offs is a way to be like, no, look, your favourite characters are still going to have stories to tell. It's not the end. But they could have waited until after the finale. Like, imagine the night that the very last episode airs. One, you would have watched all these episodes not knowing what's going to happen to anybody, not knowing that Daryl, Maggie and Negan definitely survive because they all have little spin-offs. You wouldn't know what to expect, and it would have been so different. And then the night of the finale, they could have instantly announced all these spin-off shows and been like, ooh, actually we have these spin-offs coming for you guys, and it would have been great. I don't know, I feel like giving them that extra layer of plot armor of, they don't die, it takes away from moments. But yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute. The end of this episode I absolutely loved. You had the return to Alexandria. We're going home, you guys. We are going home. It's funny because I didn't actually think that I was that emotionally connected to Alexandria. I always loved the prison. That was always my favourite set. It still is. But when we found out they were going back there, I was like, we're going home. And it's weird because I was like, whoa, I didn't know I loved Alexandria that fucking much. Okay, so we're going on to episode 22 now. So if you haven't seen episode 22, you should probably stop listening or stop watching because I don't want to spoil anything for you. So straight away, this episode started with a kick to the crotch of your feelings. You had the Negan lineup in that little montage at the start of the episode. It's been years and I'm still not over that. Every time I see it, it still hits. Another point against Negan and Anne. I don't think they're both gonna make it out of this. show. And we know that Negan does. So, and I got a bad feeling about him trying to like make this deal that he could work more if she gets less of a workload. And then I don't know. He really does I think he really does love her, and she really does love him. And you had that really delicate moment this episode too, where she gets the, was it this episode or was it a past one? I think it was this one. She gets the ultrasound of the baby. It was just gorgeous, and it was very much mirroring the Glenn and Maggie situation. And we have a bit of that more going on at the end of the episode as well, which we'll circle back around to. I'm trying so hard to stay linear with this chat and not get off topic, because when I get off topic I forget to talk about things I wanted to talk about. This motherfucker shut up. I thought we were never going to see Luke again. My guy just stumbled out of the forest like, hey, what's up? He's one of those characters that like a lot of people have been talking about for a while now. He had such a big introduction. He had such a big moment coming into the show, and then just slowly fizzled out into the background, and we didn't see him for ages. I know there's been other characters that happened with, like Heath is one of them, and I know there's others as well. So it was just good to see him back for the end. We got to find out what happened at Oceanside. The place was fucked, which I guess a lot of people kind of had a feeling about. If the Commonwealth was just going around, kicking down doors, taking over places, yeah, it makes sense they would have done the same to them. I thought the court case was handled really, really well. I loved seeing such a weirdly formal setting in a show that we're not really used to that kind of stuff, you know. It did feel like the odds and everything was stacked against us from the second it began. We knew it wasn't going to end in Eugene's favour. Pam's lying little motherfucker. She really pulled the whole, that wasn't my son on the tape. Like, she's really trying to convince people that there's someone out there furiously editing these tapes on iMovie before trying to trick the whole goddamn town. Favourite part about this episode, outside of the end of it, would be Negan. He stole this from me because he had me going. I really thought he was going to turn. I thought he was going to turn on our people. I thought he was going to give them up. Especially when he had that talk that he had with Zeke in this episode, where Zeke brought up Henry's brother. Oh, Christ, what's his fucking name? Benjamin? Was that his name? I had totally forgotten about him. And then once he said it, the flashes came back to my mind, and I was like, oh my god, how did I forget that? But again, you had Zeke reiterating that whole, I haven't forgotten what you've done, what you took from me, how fucked up you are. Seasons may have passed, you may have gone on a redemption arc, but I don't give a flying fuck. And then you'd Negan saying, I'm going to do what I'm going to do for my kid. I thought, yeah, he's going to sell us out. He's going to go back and feed information, and we are going to end up the ones fucked. And he didn't. He did the opposite. He tried to take all the blame on himself, which was oddly noble of him to do. Would he have done that if his wife hadn't been a part of the group? I'm not sure. But it's nice to see those different sides to him. To see him like that, where there's that moment where he's at Anne's bedside and they just press their heads together, and it's just so delicate and soft. And it's weird to see a character like Negan, given everything he's done and everything he's been through, have a moment like that is just delicate. I like watching characters like that, though. The whole point of Negan, he's not a good guy. He was a very, very bad guy, still kind of is. But it's interesting to watch a character like that has both light and shade to them. Even bad people can do good things sometimes, or they can have good moments sometimes. So it's just interesting watching that play out. Because TV, I don't know, I feel like particularly with shows, they fall into the category of, this is a good person, this is a bad person. And it's just that. I don't know, man, I like it when they put in human elements into characters, because nobody is just good and bad. I do kind of lean towards the side of, yeah, in my opinion, he's still a villain. I don't think he can do anything to make up for what he did, but he can do good moving forward, which he has been doing. He has been doing a lot of little good acts here and there for the last few seasons. So, yeah, I don't know. I see people yelling about Negan, saying that he's still a villain, he's still a whatever, and it's like, but that's the point. The whole point of a character like him is to show the good and bad of humanity. It's to show good people can do bad things, or bad people can do good things, whatever way you want to look at it. And I just think he's interesting to watch. He's an interesting character. Would I be friends with somebody like him in real life? Fuck no. But it's interesting to watch things like that play out on screen, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, I feel like anytime you say you love Negan or you like Negan as a character, there's always that instant knee-jerk reaction to like defend it and follow it up, be like, I don't agree with everything he does. Fucking obviously, I just enjoy watching his character on screen. Oh yeah, I have to talk about the tunnel scene. I was waiting for Connie and Daryl to kiss and they didn't. Disappointed. That being said, I think if he actually did kiss her, I would have simply passed out and ascended to another level. I don't think we're getting that at all. I think there's certain characters that they are very careful with, and I think he's one of them. And I think the writers don't want to anger either side. Either side of the shippers now is what I mean. I don't see them making a solid decision when it comes to Daryl at all. I think they're going to continue to hint at things. They're going to continue to do shit like that, and then God knows what'll happen in the spin-off. But I don't think we're going to get anything confirmed. Standout moment of this episode and the season. Stand by, this episode is probably my favourite of all of season 11. We've had really good moments, but this was just next fucking level. Everything about it. The scene, the snow that was kind of the snow that was snowily falling around them. When Negan went and tried to take the blame and put it all on himself because whatever the fuck was going through his head, there was I didn't even think about the spin-off, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, is he gonna die? Is he gonna die right now? Holy fucking shit. And then you have Zeke coming in and, you know, putting up his hands, and you had the whole community coming with him and trying to create a physical barrier across Negan and Anne. I know we've had villains. We've had the Reapers, we've had the Whisperers, whatever. I don't think that we've had a community that makes me as uneasy as the Saviors did until the Commonwealth, until these motherfuckers come in. When they were threatening to kill Negan, and then they're like, oh no, we're not making a martyr, and they tried to pull Anne in to kill her, I got chills up my back, chills up my soul. It was... If they hadn't already fucking told us about the... spin-offs. Imagine what that scene would have been. Imagine the impact that would have, where everything hangs in the balance. Especially when your man then was like, okay, well then just kill them all, shoot them all. There was a hot second where if you didn't know already who survived, it would have been a case of everyone's gonna die. I just think they really shot themselves in the foot with announcing the spin-offs. But at the same time, this scene was so impactful that it did kind of knock the sense out of my head. There was a hot second that I was like, are they all gonna fucking die, drop dead, shot right here? Incredible moment. Such a moving scene. Beautifully acted. Just... This reminded me, and a lot of other people, of the Negan lineup. You had Negan down on his knees. You had this guy standing over him, giving this fucking speech. And then having him have to look at Anne, be so traumatised and screaming, crying beside him. Very similar to Glenn and Maggie when Negan was standing over the two of them. It felt like an almost direct mirror. And I fucking loved it. Ezekiel, Carrie, killed it this episode. Him and Negan, Carrie and Jeffrey, the scenes they've done together in the last two episodes have probably been my favourite scenes that we've had focused on two characters in all season long, the two of them together. And it was just so true to Ezekiel's character. You had him, pretty much every interaction he had with Negan over the last two episodes was him telling him, like, I don't like you, we're not fucking friends. Do you know what I'm saying? And then to have the reversal, to have him actively walk into a line of fire and stand in front of Negan. Christ almighty. But it was such an Ezekiel thing to do. That's Ezekiel. The good, the pure, the selfless. That is just him as a character. Yeah, the herd, the whisperer trick to get into the herd. Really fucking cool. Really like that. I've said it so many times before. They should just be using that all the time. And people say, oh, sickness comes into it. You need to be careful with the blood. If I'm living in the apocalypse world, I'm gonna have a little skin suit hanging up. Okay? I'll have a little coat hanger inside my door, and that's where the skin suit will hang. And it'll be a case of, when you need it, it's there. It's a fantastic idea. It's a trick that works every goddamn time. But seeing the Walker pick up the knife was pretty unexpected. I know that there's smarter, there's variants, there's motherfuckers who can climb, who can try door handles, but picking up a knife is that's another playing field altogether. As soon as they start running is when I'd lie down and die. I don't fuck with runners. They scared the Jesus out of me. It was nice seeing Maggie reunite with Herschel, but I feel so bad for Azita. She has been absolutely through it. I mean, I know I made the joke in the reaction about Carol and Maggie being dragged through it and being put in the most traumatizing situations, But so is Rosita. Jesus Christ. Seeing her go a bit feral when she shoved the walker up into your man's face, it felt good. It felt good, but at the same time, my God, just give her kid back, please. I'm just going to finish this chat video by saying that Mercer had the coolest and most badass F-bomb. Okay. We fucked up. Mercer had the coolest F-bomb of the season is what I'm trying to say. He really did. He had me going there a second. I didn't know what the fuck. I can understand in a way him wanting to protect his sister and his family and not wanting to speak out. I get it. That probably would be me in his situation too. But having him waiting in the corridor for Eugene after Eugene had already been found guilty. My God. Kicked the air out of my lungs and the thought out of my brains. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, that's it for this chat, you guys. This one went a bit longer than usual. This episode was my favourite, probably of the season. Episode 21 was pretty solid too, but this one was my absolute favourite. I just, everything about it was... It's weird, because you can feel, in my opinion, you can really feel from the cast watching it that it's more emotional than it's been in a long time. And everything feels more weighted than it has done in a long time. And I don't mean the decisions that are being made or stuff that's happening because you know it's the end. I mean, like, you can almost feel from the people on screen that they know it's coming to an end. And there's this weird tension and a weight that I don't think we've felt before. And it's an absolute credit to the cast. I mean, they've done such an amazing job for so fucking long, but this season has been, it's been next level. So yeah, that's it for this chat, you guys. I'll be doing a chat for next week's reaction on its own, because it's the second last episode. So I'll be doing a little chat video for that one, and then I'll be putting up a big video after the finale talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So I can't wait for that, and I just can't believe it's coming so soon. We're still not thinking about it, okay? Man, I heard that there was a thing in LA for the finale, for the last ever episode of The Walking Dead. It looks absolutely kick-ass. I know there's an extended version of Talking Dead going up as well. I'd have loved to go to any of them, but being European, we're just left out of stuff, I guess, which is sucky, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'll be doing a chat video for next week's video, next week's reaction, and I'll be doing one after the finale as well. So yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, for chatting, and I will talk to you all soon. I feel like I should be hanging in Hot Topic in 2004. What is this top? Why did I think it was a good choice today?